What if your morning toast or favorite snack is quietly draining your strength? After 60, some everyday foods are speeding up muscle loss without you even realizing it. Let's break down the 5 worst offenders and how to take your strength back, one bite at a time. Food number 1, white bread and refined carbohydrates, the silent saboteur. Picture this. You're sitting down with your morning toast, maybe sipping coffee, thinking you're off to a decent start. But inside your body, something far less innocent is going on. That slice of white bread is kicking off a chain reaction that slowly eats away at your strength. Literally. Here's what's happening. When you eat refined carbs, like white bread, pasta, pastries, your blood sugar spikes fast. And when that happens, your body releases a surge of insulin to bring things back down. Now, do this once in a while, fine, but when it becomes a habit, your body lives on this sugar-insulin roller coaster, and that's where things start breaking down. This constant up and down creates chronic inflammation, and inflammation, it's like rust for your muscles. It slowly corrodes muscle tissue and messes with your body's ability to use the protein you eat for actual repair and growth. So even if you're eating enough protein, your muscles aren't getting the benefit. And here's the double whammy. Refined carbs don't just fail to nourish your muscles, they feed fat storage instead. Studies show that high refined carb diets increase the risk of insulin resistance, which speeds up muscle breakdown as we age. Over time, those little dietary choices add up to something big: less muscle, more weakness, and a higher risk of falls or injury. But the fix is surprisingly simple. Swap out the white bread for 100% whole grain, sprouted grain, or even sourdough bread. Choose whole wheat, lentil, or chickpea pasta instead of regular white pasta. These changes help keep your blood sugar stable, reduce inflammation, and give your muscles the fiber and nutrients they need to stay strong. Small swaps, big difference. Your muscles will thank you. Food number 2, fruit juice, the sweet deception. Let me ask you something. How many of you start your morning with a tall glass of orange juice, thinking, this is healthy, right? It feels like the classic good choice. But here's the truth most people don't realize. That glass of juice might be doing more harm than good, especially to your muscles. When fruit gets turned into juice, it loses something incredibly important: fiber. And without fiber, you're basically drinking straight sugar. Your blood sugar spikes fast, your body rushes out insulin to deal with it, and then comes the crash. That crash doesn't just zap your energy, it starves your muscles of the steady fuel they need to stay strong and active. And it gets worse. The main sugar in fruit juice is fructose, which goes straight to your liver. When the liver gets overwhelmed with too much fructose, it turns that sugar into fat, leading to something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. That might sound unrelated, but it's not. That process creates chronic inflammation, which directly attacks your muscle tissue and slows down recovery and repair. So what started as a healthy breakfast drink ends up damaging the very tissue you need to stay mobile and independent. And because juice lacks fiber and bulk, it doesn't fill you up. You can easily drink the sugar equivalent of 4 or 5 oranges in one sitting and still feel hungry. Your system gets flooded with more sugar than it can realistically handle. So here's the simple fix. Ditch the juice. Choose whole fruits instead, or make smoothies using the entire fruit. Pulp, fiber, everything. If you want something refreshing, go for lemon water or herbal teas. Your muscles don't need a sugar spike. They need stable, lasting energy. Food number 3, processed meats. The protein pretender. This one might catch you off guard because on the surface, processed meats seem like a smart protein choice. Ham, bacon, sausage, deli turkey, they're quick, tasty, and they feel like they're giving your muscles a nice protein boost. But here's the brutal truth. They're doing far more damage than good. Processed meats are loaded with preservatives like nitrites and nitrates. These chemicals might keep the meat looking fresh and extend shelf life, but inside your body, they trigger something called oxidative stress. That's like rust forming on your muscles from the inside out. It quietly breaks down muscle tissue and stirs up chronic inflammation, which eats away at your strength over time. And let's not ignore the salt. These meats are packed with sodium, which pulls water out of your muscles, leaving them dehydrated, stiff, and more prone to cramps and fatigue. That heavy, tired feeling in your legs after a short walk? That's not just aging, it could be your lunch working against you. What makes it even worse is the high level of saturated fat. These fats clog up your blood vessels, restricting the flow of oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. Without that steady supply, muscles weaken, tire faster, and eventually shrink. And even though it says protein on the label, the kind in processed meats is often diluted with fillers and starches. It doesn't compare to the clean, complete protein your muscles actually need for repair and growth. So what should you do instead? Keep it simple. Choose fresh options like grilled chicken, turkey, fish, or eggs. If you like seafood, fatty fish like salmon are a win. They come packed with omega-3s that fight inflammation and help muscles recover. Even a couple of boiled eggs will do more for your strength than processed ham ever could. Food number 4, excessive raw spinach, the nutrient blocker. I know this might sound a little crazy. Spinach is supposed to be one of the healthiest foods out there, right? And it is, but only when you prep it the right way. The problem starts when you eat big amounts of raw spinach every single day, thinking you're doing your muscles a favor. Turns out you might be doing the opposite. Raw spinach is packed with something called oxalic acid. It's a naturally occurring compound that's harmless in small amounts, but in larger doses it binds to key minerals in your gut, especially calcium and magnesium. And those minerals, your muscles need them badly. They're essential for contraction, strength, endurance, and recovery. But when oxalic acid latches onto them, they get flushed right out of your system without ever being absorbed. Your muscles end up missing out on the very nutrients they need to function properly. Over time, that mineral loss starts to show up. Muscle cramps that sneak up out of nowhere. Constant fatigue that doesn't go away with rest. Even a general sense of weakness when doing everyday things like walking, lifting, or standing up from a chair. And it doesn't stop there. Those oxalates can build up and turn into kidney stones, which put extra strain on your entire body. And when your kidneys aren't happy, your muscles aren't either. Here's the frustrating part. You're eating spinach to get healthier, but the way you're eating it might actually be holding you back. The good news? It's an easy fix. Just cook your spinach. Light steaming or boiling cuts oxalic acid levels by almost half, freeing up all those muscle-supporting minerals. You can also mix things up with greens like kale, arugula, or romaine, which are lower in oxalates. And if you do eat raw spinach, pair it with calcium-rich foods like yogurt or almonds to help your body absorb more of the good stuff. Food number 5, excessive coffee, the energy thief. I can already hear it. Please don't take away my coffee. Don't worry, no one's saying you need to give it up completely. But if you're sipping cup after cup all day long, your muscles might be feeling the impact more than you realize. Here's what's happening behind the scenes. Coffee acts as a diuretic, which means it makes you urinate more, and every trip to the bathroom is flushing out essential minerals like calcium and magnesium, 2 of the most important nutrients your muscles rely on for strength and proper contraction. When those levels drop, you're more likely to feel cramps, twitching, or just an overall sense of fatigue. And unfortunately, most people chalk it up to just getting older. But there's another layer to this. Caffeine stimulates the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. That's fine in small doses, but when cortisol stays high, it starts breaking down muscle tissue to use as quick energy. So the more coffee you drink, especially on an empty stomach or when you're already stressed, the more muscle mass you're slowly losing without even noticing. And we haven't even talked about sleep. Even if you fall asleep after that late afternoon cup, caffeine shortens your deep sleep cycles. And guess what happens during deep sleep? That's when your body releases growth hormone, the stuff that helps repair and rebuild muscle tissue. Without enough deep sleep, recovery slows, and over time you lose strength. So what's the fix? Keep your coffee, but cut it back. 1 or 2 small cups in the morning is fine. Just make sure you're drinking it with food. Skip the afternoon brew and switch to green tea if you still want a little boost. Or go for herbal teas like chamomile or ginger. They're calming, hydrating, and way more muscle-friendly. So here's the truth. Your muscles haven't given up on you. Even in your 60s, 70s, or 80s, your body can still respond fast to the right care. Simple food swaps can rebuild what you've been quietly losing. Start spreading your protein throughout the day, aim for 30 to 40 grams per meal, and lean into foods rich in leucine, like eggs, chicken, and Greek yogurt. Stay hydrated and don't just drink water, replace lost minerals too. Every meal is a chance to choose strength. Today, swap out refined carbs, skip the sugary juice, pick real protein over processed meat, cook your greens, and time your coffee smartly. These aren't big changes, but they lead to big results. Your muscles are ready, you just need to give them the right tools. If this video gave you value, tap the like button, hit subscribe for more senior health tips, and share it with someone who needs a little strength today.